What's up, everybody? Tuesday, 8 o'clock. You know what that means. Macro talk. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Do you regret being here? I hope not. I have done some amazing things to this space today, since early this morning, actually. And for once, I don't think I broke anything. I think everything is working. Who's here tonight? Amy's here, and Amy already knows about the survey. I'm going to ask a single question, and I would most appreciate you popping over to the link that Amy put there in the first chat. And yeah, saying yes or no. That's all you have to do. I'll tell you what it is. Shall I tell you now? I'll tell you now. Why not? I have a friend. I mentioned this a while ago, but just in passing, just to see if there was any initial interest. But I think I need to get a bit more focused on exactly what I'm asking you. He is a Canadian chap and a good friend of mine, and he loves this thing called a photo swap, and he's keen on doing it. And I'm keen on having him do it if people want to participate. So I thought what I'd do was explain what a photo swap is very briefly, and then ask you this single question. And the photo swap is just this. A group of people, however many, decide on a number of photographs that they're going to swap, and they will put into the kitty one or two or three of their photographs, the ones they're really proud of, the ones they really like. And we normally would do this with prints. But because of shipping and international and all of the other things that are going on in the world, we're thinking that probably electronic would be better. So that you take a picture and you have the electronic file and you submit it, and we would do all the work. You wouldn't have to do any work. You'd just take the pictures, get them as nice as you can, and send them in. And everybody else would do the same thing. And then we would randomly, and I mean completely randomly, select your three images that you're going to get from everybody except yourself. So you'd get three pictures. We'd probably set it up so you didn't get three pictures from the same person. If we had enough people, you wouldn't even get two from the same person. The idea is, of course, that we're all into photography and we all take nice pictures. It would be nice to have somebody else's artwork on your wall, especially if it was a signed thing. So it doesn't cost anything other than the taking of the picture. And Steve and I are going to do the work for nothing. And yeah, we're not doing the print, so there's no mailing, there's nothing expensive going on. It's just you get three prints ready to print and hang on your wall. And I think it's a cool idea. So I'm committed to doing it. So there'll be three of my pictures in there for sure, if it's three we decide on. And what I need to know before I let Steve loose on this project, I don't want him to spend the time on it if it's not going to happen. I want to know, do you want to participate? Do you want to trade three of your pictures for three pictures from other people in this group of fantastic photographers? You know their work, you see it every month. If you do, and if you feel like you would say that you were certain or pretty darn close to certain that you would participate, then answer the question yes. If you think that there's a good strong 12% chance that you might, just answer no. That will be easier, and that way we'll get a realistic number. So I'm asking you to answer yes or no because there's something predictive about the no's. I think I'll have a better idea if I know that there were 30 respondents and 18 yeses. That means more than just 18 yeses and no idea how many other people were there. So we'll do that, okay? Amy's put the link up there in the chat, and all you've got to do is click on it and go yes or no, and I will show the results tabulated right here as we go along tonight. Just somebody remind me about halfway through, and I'll pull it up if I can find the link. I forgot to get the link ready for that. Oh well, not to worry, I'll find it somehow. And because we're going to be walking around a bit tonight. which is potentially problematic because of the Wi-Fi business, but we're going to give it a try because I've got so many things I want to show you that I've done with the place for your watching pleasure, of course. And then there's things we need to talk about tonight. So that was the first thing. I'll probably put in. You want to know what I'll put in? You probably don't care, do you? Because if you're not doing it, there you go. I don't know what I'll put in. I was looking at this orchid bee. This is one of my favorite pictures of all time. So I'll probably put that in. Though I was bitten by a horsefly the other day, and yeah, he paid the ultimate price. That will teach you, by the way, if you're a horsefly or any other kind of biting insect, just stay away from me. It's the best thing to do. I was outside trying to attract insects to the insect photography machine that has so far failed to yield anything, except, as I say, a couple of bites and a very long, restless evening the other day trying to monitor the thing and make sure that nobody wheeled it off. But yeah, I feel like I'm close. I'm going to take it down to the pond when I get back from my mini trip. And if I can't get one down there, if I can't get a picture of a flying insect down there where they literally bang into your face the whole time you're down there, I'll give up. I'll give up completely and take up lacrosse or tennis, something like that. So that would be very depressing. We're going to be doing some work under the microscope today because it's back to bugs. It's time we started doing some macro photography. The weather's here, the bugs are here. There's a lot to photograph and a lot to talk about. So what we're going to be doing tonight is something I've talked to you about before, but it's something that I've been using more and more. I've been doing a lot of in-flight posing, which isn't me striking a pose on an aeroplane, though it sounds like that, doesn't it? It's posing insects that appear to be flying. And it's not so that I can trick you by dangling it in front of the photography machine and telling you I caught that one in flight, though we'll have to see how it goes down at the pond. Maybe I will try that. But anyway, I'm going to show you today a modification of something that I've used for a long time. It's a kind of non-traumatic or an atraumatic leg holding device for hexapods. And the reason it's so useful is when you're doing highly detailed, high magnification whole insect photography. So if you're photographing parts of an insect and you need it to be in a particular anatomic position, this is a technique that I use. I find it very frustrating to try to pose an insect on a single point of contact on a pin when I'm going to have it on that pin for a whole day and thousands of images. It just is going to move after a while. And this technique that I use for photographing mouth parts and eyes and antennas, it's what I used for this horsefly, deer fly actually, is a technique that's worth knowing. And I've got some modifications to it that I've been using lately that I think you might find interesting. And then we're going to have a patriotism thing this evening. I'm going to test your patriotism in a very cruel and heartless way, and it's going to be a lot of fun for me. But you'll just have to wonder about that, and we'll get to it. Have you answered yes or no yet? Because I'll pull up the thing if you do, and we'll see what the numbers show. But yeah, I forgot. No, I've lost the I lost the link, so I can't do that just yet. I'll do it in a minute. So what else did I have? There was so much. I wanted to talk to you about the 3D printer. I have a question though. It said if you built a 3D printer yourself, you'll be able to help me with this. The instructions very clearly said that when you get to the end, when you're finished, it's not unusual to have a couple of extra pieces, a few extra pieces that didn't get used. How many is okay, do you think? I'm thinking Really, it's millions and millions of little pieces that all have to go together in a very specific way. Nobody told me it would be this difficult. I thought you just plugged it in. Anyway, that's another thing we'll be talking about. You probably wondered what that globe was doing on the table, didn't you? Well, that's part of the patriotism thing. I'll tell you about that in a minute. What do you want to do first? Do you want to go and see? I was going to show you the rest of the studio, and then we would do the bug thing, and then we'll do the. Oh, we're going to run out of time, aren't we? I better get moving. I haven't even said hi to anybody. Has anybody given me any money? Because they're the people I would really want to say hi to. No, not yet. So there you go. No sound. Are you serious? Amy, no sound? Or was it no sound when I was on the other view? Yeah, that's probably what it was. Sorry about that. Let me fix that because we're going over there. You just enjoy the table while I fix that. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I had to fix that before we went any further because if I didn't have sound over there, yeah, we'd be in trouble. So yeah, that was my fault. I just had to add 8 new scenes to my OBS thing so that I could show you everything and we could do everything that I need to do. And I forgot to put a microphone with that camera, so I should be pelted for that. But hopefully that's it now fixed. You want to see what the other things are? You've seen my intro screen and you've seen me, and you can see the wall is a little bit better, though because I moved my desk you can see more of it and I need to put more pictures up or spread them out. But we'll do that. You've already seen the project table, which is just right in front of me actually, and that's where things happen, and that's where a lot of what we're going to be doing in the coming months is going to be going on. And then, yep, there'll be an opportunity to look at the monitor when I have something interesting to show you. This is what you're writing to me right now. And this is why I can't ever keep up with it. Oh, Robert's just given me 20 bucks. And Robert, you don't know what you just bought, but in a minute I'll tell you, and you'll be so proud that you did that. Very good indeed. Anyway, also, this is an interesting one. Look at that. This is me as well, only this is with my phone and with the phone microphone so that we can go places. And let me see if it still goes when I unplug it. Yeah, look at that, still works. So that will be that. And then I've got something else, a surprise too. This is a shot of my microscope table, which is just over to my right. But it's a macro shot from, well, I can show you, can't I? I can show you from the other camera. It's right there. See, that's the camera. Sorry, that's the camera that's looking at that. And all of that is just around the corner from that. And this is where I live, right here. So that was only one room of the tour. Do you want to see the other rooms? Let's do that while we know this is working. We'll just stay with this phone. So this then is the, this is the nerve center, we'll call it. Yeah, this is where it all starts. This is the project area, and this is the project for right now. I actually have made some good progress. I guess I'm just going to snip all those wires off that are dangling down, but otherwise we're, as I say, almost finished. Hardly anything left to do. I've got a thing up here to hold my phone for when we're doing exciting stuff. You know what? I'm going to walk back to the computer and see if you can still hear me. Did you hear me when I walked away? Somebody will say, yeah, we heard you. Nope. Not yet, but I'm gonna just believe that we're doing this right, and so that's it. That's the whole first room. That's it from the other end. Pretty impressive, eh? And then the second room is here, and it's very dark because I'm actually halfway through a shoot in here. Yeah, that's why the table's on top of the table, but and I've got a black reflective surface on there. Can't tell you what I'm shooting or why, but it'll be in a video. That's where the dining room table used to be. And lastly, this is the macro studio. Pretty impressive. It's also kind of like an indoor workshop type place. And yeah, everything's in here. There's robots in here. There's camera stuff. And yeah, everything you could possibly want. Yeah. Oh, we're going to skip that room I almost walked into. I have an iPhone. You see that that other room was my bedroom, and I just did the laundry, so I haven't had a chance to tidy up. So we're back. That was the tour. Is anybody sick from that? From all of that moving around? Because I won't do it if you don't like it, but I thought it would be good to show you where... Oh, I didn't show you the outside where the insects are. I'll do that another time. Some of you have already seen it because I did a live stream on Thursday, where we were outside being ridiculed by the bugs. And yeah, didn't catch anything then either. But last night had a couple of beetles come lumbering in, and they just went straight past the camera and straight into the house, which is where they're trying to get to when they do come by. Very depressing. So what's next? Let me tell you about the competition. Yeah, there you go. Stereo. Have you started working on it? Because I don't want to hear any excuses at the end of the month that you didn't have a chance to, because you've had a whole month. So you ought to be planning it now, I would say, and practicing. I know Amy is, because she told me she was. And I'm now going to pause to say hi to some people, because otherwise you're just going to think I'm terribly rude. Robert, hi, and thank you very much. That was very generous of you. And in a minute, I'll tell you what you just purchased for that $20, and you'll be proud of yourself. David's here from Winthrop, Maine. Is it Winthrop? Yes, I think it is. Oh, it is. Yes, it is. It's 55 degrees. I also knew that. And Jeff Martin's here from Idaho. Vivian's here. How are you, my dear? From Ireland. And yeah, looking forward to Flies in Flight. Yes, so am I. So am I. We all are. Toluca's here. Greetings. And Larry. What's going on, my friend? How are you? South Central Michigan. Is that a thing? Is that a place? It must be, or you wouldn't have said it. All right. Vivian's answered the survey already. There you go. Hey, Bruce. Morning. What morning? Wednesday morning? Thursday morning? You guys have it all screwed up over there. Jan, how are you, my friend? I was so hoping to show you a bug today. I really was. Jan Nelson was the benefactor who made the bugs in flight machine and all the fun I've had with it possible. And yeah, he's also the guy that's going to be getting a whole box of extra parts from the 3D printer in case he needs them when I'm finished, because it's enough for 2 printers in those boxes. I'm sure of it. Anyway, Michelle's here. Michelle, I got your request, and it is being dealt with. I haven't seen whether or not Robbie was here, but Robbie, if you are here, forgive me. I did not get your favor done last week, but I promise I'm going to do it tomorrow. I've been to the post office 3 times since the end of last week, and it's been closed every time. 2 of them were my fault because I went a bit too late, and the third one was, I think, the post office's fault because it was Sunday and they were closed. Did you know they closed on Sunday? I thought that was shocking behaviour. Anyway, so where were we? Walter, we were saying hi to Walter. What's up, everybody? Says Walter. Say hi to Walter. And Gilles Benoit is from Quebec, and he's here tonight. I was watching a thing about Canada today. You seem to have quite a nice place up there. Very sophisticated, lots of tech. You know, you have a lot of robots up there, is what I was reading about. So, yeah, Gary Russell says hello to all you macro nuts. He must be talking about you people. Yeah, I'm one of them too. Art's here, greetings. And Alistair's here. How are you, Alistair? Amy reminds you that there's the survey. You go to tinyurl.com/print swap. So all you got to do, put that in or click the link. I don't know if it's clickable, but try clicking the link and go over there. Yeah, and we'll all you have to do is say yes or no and then come right back. I won't have finished this sentence by then. Gary, I don't know what that means. Nope, I don't know what the dragon is about, or the monster, the alligator. Not sure at all. Jeff says loud and clear, which is good. And Roy is here. Roy, you are a newcomer, I believe. We haven't met before. Welcome. I'm glad you made it. This is a lot of fun. We do this a couple of times a week, and I'm glad you're here. And Nina's here from Atlanta. Good to see you back, Nina. And Susan from North Alabama. Welcome. And macro everything around me from somewhere in Florida, I believe. How are you, my friend? Good to see you again. And Russ Richards, he's a little late, and we've got to stop talking about him now as he's here. So we'll move on to somebody else. ND Cannon Shooter, greetings from North Dakota. I have a friend in North Dakota. What's the name of the town? Is there a town in North Dakota? You'd think no, I can't remember the name of it, but I do have a friend there. She said the snow melted already, which sounded fantastic until you remembered it was June. But there you go. These things happen. Andrew's here. Good evening, my friend. And Robert Wester from Ocala, Florida. Just the man I was going to try to get in touch with today had I not been rearranging my entire house and it slipped my mind. But I'll give you an update later on, Mr. Wester. And Peter, happy, joy from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm glad to see everything's still good up there. Excellent. Robbie, supposed to start at 6 p.m. here. I arrived before 6, live stream already in progress. I don't know about that. Was I a minute early tonight? I might have been. I don't do anything in that first bit but say hi. If I said anything important, then yeah, I'll go over it again. Sorry, Robbie, I just gave you a message too. So I'm not doing very good with you right now, I'm afraid. I'm trying though, I am trying. Robert, and thank you again, Robert. Seabell. Now, the thing I'm about to announce, Seabell, is not going to be very favorable to you because you live in Trinidad. And yeah, there's not going to be many other people to share the burden. So I'll explain it in a second, but yeah, this won't be fair for you. But there you go. These things happen. And ouch is correct to the horsefly. You know that horseflies and deer flies, they have a unique way of taking a blood meal. Only the females take a blood meal from the horsefly family, I think. But deer flies, they both do. And they both have the same thing. They have a pair of chompers that go this way and a pair that go this way. And they just rip a cruciate cut in the victim and then inject a mixture of spit and anticoagulant into the wound and then drink the blood. I had a girlfriend like that a long time ago. Everything's healed now. But there you go. So they're mean. You know you've been bitten by one when you have. And we've actually got the fellow down there in a jar. We're going to pose him in just a second. Transylvania, Romania. Just you. Welcome. Glad you're here. And the no sound thing, I hope, has been taken care of. If it hasn't, boy, this last half hour has been boring. Let me see, there's the link again. And a proud liberal from Chicago, welcome. Can I be excused from the patriotism test? I was born on Flag Day. That should be enough. No, you cannot. No, absolutely not. It's time I explained. Here's the deal. I have a globe over there, and I dropped it today, and it ruptured into 2 hemiglobes. And I put it back together again, and as I was putting it back together again, I had this genius idea. It is a way for you to be commemorated as a viewer of this live stream or the other one, because I'm going to hit them up as well. And all you have to do is buy the right to have a pin put in your location. Now, most people would just do this because it would be fun and it would be nice to see where everybody is. But I thought, no, there's a way to actually fundraise with this. Fundraise sounds charitable. It shouldn't sound charitable, because I'm not going to give the money to anybody but the bank who's asking for it. So here's the deal. If you like your country, buy a pin of a certain color. Now, I can't show you this for long because I haven't actually decided on the amounts, because they were starting to seem a bit ridiculous for a pin. But I have regular pins and I have very fancy pins which are hand painted. In fact, literally hand painted. I got the paint all over me doing it. But we have all kinds of different colored pins, and you get to pick your pin. There'll be very few of these gold and silver ones because they're going to be super expensive. But yeah, if you buy one, you get this pin put in your location on the map, and I will constantly refer to it for the rest of my life, or next week, one or the other. No, I will. I'll keep it around. I'll probably dangle it from the ceiling so that you can see where you're from in case you ever get lost. So it's a brilliant idea. It seems so much better than work, but that's the plan. We ought to do it today because this is an impulse type of thing, and I just guessed at some numbers. I'll tell you what, we'll leave we'll leave the fancy ones, the gold and the silver one, blank. That will be up to you, and it'll be secret unless you want it to be public, and then you can buy it for whatever you want. But the others, see those numbers? You just tell me what color you want, or tell Amy what color you want, and I'll put the pins in later, and you just do the thing. Yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do is super chat it. And yeah, it might work, it might not, it probably won't, but you can't say I'm not trying. You ready to do the bugs? Let's do the bugs. Otherwise, I'll just keep going on. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything important. So yeah, Robert, you have got a very rare black pin, because I had to spray paint that because I didn't have any black liquid paint. So there's only one of them, and you've got it. So I'll put it in your hometown if you want it, or just your state, whatever you want. I'll put it on your street address if I can find it, which I won't because it's a whole world on that globe. But yeah, so that's what your $20 just got you, is the first black pin and the first pin. And it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, you'll be so proud of yourself. If there's anybody that lives in Antarctica, I'm going to have to get a different way to hold the globe, because right now it's in an old tire on the table, and it covers Antarctica. So just saying. So when I put my Prusa i3 together, there were numerous spare nuts, bolts, a couple of extra magnets, and some extra springs. It's been a few years, so my memory isn't best as far as the quantity of parts, but you would say probably it was less than 2 boxes full of parts. I bet 3 boxes. Yeah, I think I've got more to do. I'll keep plugging away. The gummy bears, they give you a bag of gummy bears and then tell you not to eat them until you eat 2 at a time or something. So I ate them all and have to go out and get some more so I can finish the build, because I ran out. They're good though. They're delicious, actually. Best gummy bears I ever ate. Well, I'm glad it's not just me. Yep, Larry had half a dozen leftover screws and 4 or 5 nuts. Yeah, but not boxes. Just a few nuts. Yeah, this is. I think this is different. A lot of plastic parts left over too. Anyway, there you go. All right. Okay. Bruce Malcolm has just got himself a pin. I think a black pin, or let me see. Oh, the parcel arrived. Brilliant. Excellent. There you go. Fantastic. Don't worry about that. That was my treat, Bruce. The least I can do after completely neglecting you for so long with those bracelets. Listen. You get Australia on the map and you get a black pin, which means I've got to go outside and paint another one in the workshop, but I will do that with great gladness. Ron is a denomination of something. How much is a Ron? What is a Ron? What country is a Ron from? Just me. Where are you from? Just me? I can't remember. But wherever you're from, you're on the map. I'll figure this out, and I'll make sure you get on the map for 50 Rons worth of colour. Yeah, whatever that comes out to be. Paul, what's up? You are here when I'm live. How come? Are you just trying to see what I'm up to? This is all I do. I just talk. I'm going to go under the microscope and talk. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything super important. Somebody's getting somebody else's smoke. Are we doing something with insects today? Yeah, I am. That was Robbie. Wanted to know. So we're going to go over to the microscope and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I think that's the right button, and that should have you set up with this other microphone. So let me know if you can't hear me. In fact, Amy, if you would be so kind as to shoot me a text if somehow my sound has disappeared. Oh, if my sound's disappeared, you wouldn't know, would you? Okay, so here's the deal. We've got a couple of bugs here. Let me see if I can actually get this. Let me find out where my work area is. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a piece of filter paper down. Should have thought of this earlier, but like I say, I am going to create an area that I know is in camera. Let me see. Okay, so long as I'm on there, I'm okay. I'm actually going to stick that down with a bit of sticky tape, because if I don't, I'll knock it away. Let me see if anybody can hear me. Leaning away from the phone, guys, to check if there's sound. Oh, YouTube won't let you give away money. Ron is the currency in Romania. A Romanian Ron. Well, I learned something new today. Okay, here's the deal. I'm going to get back over there, talk to you in a minute. This is the thing that attacked me. And it's a beauty. And right now, it's in a really nice anatomic pose, with his legs in the flying position and also the walking around position. And let me see. The way I got the legs like this was with the, oh dear me, hang on a sec. This is going to be trickier than I thought. I didn't get a chance to. Let's see. Everything's a little bit backwards. You might not be able to really appreciate this unless I do it under the microscope. So here's the deal. Let's try the microscope. Let's try the microscope. Hang on. Just a second. So let me, there we go. This is going to be too close in. Pretty eyes though, look at that, lovely. This is going to be too close in, even at minimum. Let's shut some of that light out. There we go, that's better. So the idea is when these things die, they usually pull their legs in and they cross their feet. Just double checking that you can hear me. Yes, according to this you can. So the idea was I wanted to do two things. I wanted to photograph the mouth parts and the eyes, but I wanted not to damage the thing at all, and I wanted the extremities, the appendages, to remain in as normal a position as possible. And I knew that he was going to be on the macro stage for hours and hours and drying out. And with a pin, even with super glue, which I'm kind of going off the whole super glue experience, because it tends to seep into the cracks between the abdomen and the thorax and kind of spoil the picture from some angles. So what I do is I use a paper clip technique that you've seen before, though I've changed it a little bit. I use a piece of wire. Now let me show you what I've got. It's 22 gauge stainless steel wire, but it could be anything. I'm just going to cut a piece off and I'll show it to you. It's stainless steel. It's just about the same as using a paper clip like this. But if you're going to use a paper clip, use the kind that are coated in plastic and peel the plastic off, because it's just about the right degree of springiness. Now this is the uncut wire that I'm going to use. You can see that it's a bit bigger than his legs, but not much. The first thing you have to do before you start bending it, and I'm going to change back to the other camera so you can see this. The first thing that you have to do is roughen the surface of this up. I said one time that the titanium wire that I was using had a rough enough surface, but it really isn't quite rough enough. I prefer to take a fine file like this, and I just go over about a 2-inch section of it, not at the end. I leave the ends shiny, and I just rough up the surface of the wire. All sides. You want it to be as scratched up as possible. Now that's probably, yeah, you can feel the difference when you get it right. It's nice and rough. Then you just need a pair of pliers, just a regular pair of sharp pliers. These are welder's pliers or something from the hardware store. You need a piece of wire about this long, about 6 inches long or so, and you want it to be as straight as possible. Now you don't have to straighten it just by spinning it, though that would be one way of doing it. I couldn't be bothered. I just squeeze it at the kink points like this, and what you're going to do is bend it exactly halfway down the wire. Now you want the end to be about as wide, for a fly this size, about as wide as the end of your tweezers, your pliers. Something like that. That might be a bit too wide. So I'm going to narrow that down just a little bit. And you want this turn to be fairly acute. So having an actual flat area at the end is fine. Now the reason I go into all of this detail is because what you're going to do is your bug is going to stay on this stand for ages, and I've had them stay in alcohol on these things for months without coming off. So if you're photographing mouth parts, at this point what I do is I take the top and I bend it down about that much, This is to help it bend more easily when your insect is mounted on it. The other thing I'll do is I will put a little bend in the back to make it easier to hold. Now, I hold the ends of the wire together with my whatever finger this is, and my thumb and index finger holding the other piece, so that I can keep them squeezed together, but when I relax on it, the wires will pull apart. Now, the way we're going to do this is very simply, and it's a good bit harder when their legs are crossed, but it's the same idea. And here's a key trick, is when you're doing this, make sure that your bug is fresh out of the preservative, and you'll see why. If it's sitting on a piece of dry paper and you're trying to pick it up, it's just going to move. It'll slide along the paper with you, and you don't want that. You don't want any movement. You want this to be a clean pickup. So the way you do it is dunk him if he's dried out. Dunk him back in his bath. Get him good and wet, and then immediately start the process. And this is all there is to it. You take the wire that's upside down. You want it so that the bend is coming. The bend is coming down. That's what I meant. All right. So you go in from below and go between the legs in pairs. Then when you get to the head, go a bit further, and notice he's not moving. He is stuck to the wet spot on the filter paper. That's exactly why it's wet. Then very carefully release the tension on the wire, and it'll spring apart. It just popped off my finger there, and that's why it released. All right, if that's happening, you don't have enough tension, and you need to widen the stance a little bit. So I'm going to open up the U, make the bend a little less, but a little further down, so that the arms are further apart than they were, like that. If you go too far, they'll just pull right off the legs. But if you get it just right, and then I will use my fingertips or the tweezers to hold the wings down, but I'll do it with the tweezers closed just across the wingtips, and then I'll slide the metal through. And then when you pick him up, he'll be stuck in this position. And depending on what I'm going to do, if I'm photographing mouth parts, I want to photograph them through the hole in the pin. So what I do is, for that, I make sure that all of the appendages are down at the first joint. Let's, well, I hope you can see that. Let me put it under the microscope. So it's not too bad. The first joint of the appendage, where the femur and the tibia come together, I'm pretty sure that's what that joint is. You want the joint to be all the way on the wire if you're trying to photograph the mouth parts or the eyes, because what it does is it lifts the front of the body, the thorax and the abdomen up. And the appendages, you can appreciate how they are very slightly over flexed at that joint, so that the further part of the extremity is actually folding over the wire and holding it. And it will remain in that position, and it won't move for days. The other thing that you can do is, if there's another part that you want to photograph, if you want to photograph the thorax, you can actually lift the bug up, and you can position the all the way as far as the feet, the claws at the end there. If you have if you have something like a butterfly, you're not going to be able to do that, of course. In fact, I wouldn't use this on any Lepidoptera because they have soft, fuzzy feet, and I just poked him off because I had no depth perception with the microscope. Let me pick that up again. I'll do it under the microscope so you can see. So that's a better view of it anyway. So the idea is just to go between the legs and then let it spring open. Now, the temptation is to put a finger up above the head. I would never touch the abdomen or the see how when he's dry, it's very hard to get him to stay still. There we go. Sorry, I'm chasing after him and not looking at the monitor. There we go. So by pushing it down, you'll get him on those lower. Alrighty. He's a bit too dry at this point. Let me try changing the shape again. Every insect is going to have a different shape to the wire to grab the legs. This was actually the very wire that I had this guy on for 24 hours, and yeah, held him pretty well. But you can, with a fresh specimen, their claws at the end usually have two hooks on them. The hooks will get around the wire if you're using a fine enough wire, and they'll stay in that position too for days. I think I'm going to need to re-wet him, but let me show you how you do the wire once he's on. Let me switch back. So, say he's on, just to save a bit of time, and you've got him positioned so that you can photograph the mouth part straight through this gap in the wire. What I do is, once the wire's separated by just enough to hold the legs, I'll bend both of the bits of wire down like this and slightly underneath, and then I will put two tiny curls in the ends of the wire. This is important to grab the blue tack. I'll go one back the way and one forward, like that. And when you do that, you can take your blue tack, and I use a ball way bigger than I normally would. It's about three times the size I'd normally use, so it's a big old strip of the stuff. I'll just hold in front of the fly's face, and I will stick the blue tack like this, the way I normally would, except normally you'll see me turning the wire, but not with this. With this, I don't want to turn it because things fall off. So now I've explained that, let me do it so you can see what it looks like. And once you have this, there is no position you can't put him in, and the beauty of it is he will set, his extremities will set in this very natural pose. Let me show you the other character that I did this with day before yesterday. Was a stunning rose chafer beetle. Let me get the paper over here. This little beetle was a very difficult pose because it was very hard to get the wings unfurled and the legs down in a normal, natural flying position. If I hadn't had one of these, I just don't think I could have done it. I couldn't have done it with a pin, because when I pinned him and got his wings out, they immediately folded back in. This paperclip wire is quite a bit heavier and a little easier to work with. I'll pick up the beetle to show you. The beetle does have claw feet that are long pointy claws on these scarabs. So he was he was unusually easy to use this technique for. Sometimes you have to go from the head if you're having no luck getting the first pair of appendages, but it's really pretty straightforward when they're wet. Just go straight up the middle like that till you catch all of the claws, and there you go. Now, with the beetles also have these big spurs on their femora, so you can slide the legs to anywhere you want them really, and their little claw grabbers will hold the wire. This wire has been roughed a little bit, and this allows you to even take one finger like this and hold the beetle still while you spread his wings. You can spread the wings of a beetle manually like this because they're very leathery. I'll show you a picture of them in a minute. But they're very dense, very leathery, more like bat wings than insect wings. So yeah, that's the way I do it. And once they're in this rack here, you can flip them over and photograph their abdomen. You can photograph their wings, anything that you want, and it will be right in perfect position, especially at high magnification when you're trying to get all the obstructions out of the way. So this is a technique that's well worth learning if you're going to do a lot of this stuff, because I guarantee if I'd had to rely on a pin, I wouldn't have got the pictures that I wanted from this. Let's put him back because I'm not through photograph. Oh, and this is the other thing. I also don't like putting things back in alcohol that have got super glue on them. They're hard to photograph the next time. I know I've done it for years, but this is much easier. So there's nothing on there to contaminate the preservative, and we're good to go. I'll use this same pin that we just used on the beetle to see if I can get this guy properly mounted. So I'm holding the wings down, pushing forward, and it's too dry, I think. I just have to find a better shape for the... I have on rare occasion put a drop of super glue on the very end of one of these grabbers so that one of the appendages would hold, and that has been enough, but I haven't done that in ages. All right, so I'm holding the legs down, the wings down. He needs to be wet again because I'm sliding him forward every time. Yeah. Okay, well that's a bit disappointing. Let me try using a finger instead. Last try. Yeah, he's not going to grab a hold with his claws. No, not without a rougher surface. Maybe using a plastic coated, roughed up version of the pin will do it. Let me see. Gosh, I hope you saw some of that. Where am I? There I am. Did you see any of that, or was the whole thing just a blur? It's a bit tricky doing those demonstrations with the until I get used to the area. I might try to use a different lens to give a bigger picture, but try that technique. It's great on anything from the size of a ladybird. I've used them on little tiny flies as well, but really where they come into their own is on bigger beetles and things that you really don't want to sacrifice getting a good walking photograph because you've already photographed its bee and messed up its abdomen with a pin. So let's see how many oh, hang on, we've got somebody wants an orange pin, a $14 pin. What country's that for? That's fantastic. They'll be so proud of you. Oh, Bug Bob's Wild World. Bug Bob, you must be new. I don't believe we've met before. I'm Allan. It's good to have you with us. And thank you very much. That's very generous. $20. Heck, you can get 2 countries for that. you can you can get as many countries as you want for that. Come to think of it. Oh dear. I thought the globe idea was a good idea, but yeah, Arlington Heights, Illinois is getting a pin tonight. In fact, I better, Amy, would you write these places down for me? I forgot. When we get done and I have to do the paperwork and everything, all of this chat disappears. So if you would write down the places, that would be great. So that I can make sure all the pins get in. Yeah, it's one of my rare novel ideas that just popped into my head earlier on today. One that was actually worth suggesting. So Bug Bob, I feel like I should know you. With a name like that, our paths must have crossed at some point. You're from Southern California, near what's the name of that place? What's the name of that town where Disney World is? I can't remember. The only reason you go there is to go to medical meetings. I went to a medical meeting there a long time ago. It's part of Los Angeles. Can't remember. Didn't care for it a great deal. But yeah, I shouldn't have said that, should I? Because you've just shown great love for your region. Yeah. Oh dear, this is so much fun. I'll remember the name of that darn place in Los Angeles. Somebody remind me where all the meetings go on. Let me see. Horseflies, like a pair of scissors. 2 pairs of scissors. 2 pairs. They make a crosshatch thing. Gilles is talking to Robert saying 160 active forest fires in Quebec. Holy mackerel. It isn't that big, is it? How big does a forest fire have to be to qualify? I mean, that strikes me as the whole city would be ablaze with 160 of them. Blimey. Let me see. Unusual and spectacular sunsets. Yeah, we have them across the bay from me, and it's pollution, I think, from the oil refinery over there. It does make glorious sunsets. And emphysema is the other thing that it makes, I think. So there you go. Joseph's here from Detroit, running a bit late. No worries. We held the place for you. I'm glad you made it. Do you love Detroit? How much do you love it? Think about it. There's an actual monetary amount that you must love your town. I'm sure there is. All right, let me see. Is the orange pin available? Yes, absolutely. Actually, you have $6 left over if you get the orange pin, and we don't give change because I wouldn't know how. So you can get an orange pin and a purple pin, and they'll both go in your region, which sounds uncomfortable. So we'll call it something else. Your area. Yeah. I'll tell you what. When you do the super chat thing, just say what color pin you want and what part of the world, and however close you want me to get, I'll get there. I'll use the microscope if I have to. Yeah, this is great. I had no idea it would work. It's very exciting. I watched some live streams today. You'd think I'd have done that before, but I did it while I was working, and they're very good. Some of them are. Some of them aren't, but mine would have been definitely one of the not very good ones, till I figured out the electronic part anyway. Better now. Definitely better now. Oh, there's something else I was supposed to be doing. Oh, yeah. I think I may have missed. Yeah, I did. I missed one of the big things I wanted to talk about, and it's 54. There's no way I can talk about it now, but that's good because time just flies. Or as the reptiles, amphibians say, time's fun when you're having flies. That's what frogs would say. Anyhow, I wanted to talk to you about... No, I'm going to do it anyway. I can do it in 6 minutes. Live stream. We do 2 live streams a week. We've been doing it for almost a year. No. Half a year. But there are 2 a week. It feels like a year. And I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. It's not replacing videos. I've been kind of on pause with a lot of the videos because of things that were going on with the business, which I don't, yeah, things that were going on with the business kind of distracted me from that. But they are coming back. There's lots of videos in the works. But the live streams are something I want to continue to do, but I want to make them relevant and useful and or enjoyable, or whatever it is you want from them. So I need you to do this. If you have strong feelings, either in agreement with what I'm doing or disagreement, or there's something you want to see or don't want to see, just send me an email, contact@Allan Walls Photography. I'll ask Amy to put that in the chat. But contact@Allan Walls Photography, and then I want you to write live stream in the subject in capital letters, all caps, live stream, and tell me whatever it is you have in your mind. It can be make it bullet points so that I hope to get a lot of emails about this. And just if you have one point you want to make, just put a bullet point in there. And if there's 10 or 20, that's fine too. But what do you want to see? What is a waste of your time? I mean, I can't please everybody all the time, but if I'm seeing a trend here, I can certainly modify things to give you what it is you want. Some things are harder to do than others, but that doesn't bother me. I mean, as long as technologically I have the equipment to do it, I'll do it. So tell me what you want. Would 1 2-hour live stream be better than 2 1-hours? Or do you want 3 1-hours? Just tell me what you want. You want one at the weekend instead of the middle of the week? Just whatever it is, tell me, and I will consider every suggestion and take it from there. I really, really want to see this work because I enjoy it so much. I'd hate to miss this point of contact. That's why I spent all day cleaning up the house, was to impress you that we've got space now to work in. So yeah, tell me what you want and I'll make sure it happens. Let me see. I've missed so many people. How much is a RON in Romania? A Romanian RON. I have a RON that isn't worth anything. He is absolutely useless. So I don't imagine that you'd get a loaf of bread for a RON. I know you wouldn't get a loaf of bread for a RON. Worthless chap he is. So let me see. Just Me. Just Me's Sisakan. Right. I remember that, and I'm glad you changed your name because I can do Just Me. The Sisakan I just couldn't do. Even when you were winning the competition, I couldn't say it properly. So I'm glad of that. Thank you for clearing that up. Talking about the Prusa, I thought you were going to be talking about bugs. Dang. No, I talked about bugs, Joseph. Yeah, I that was the main thing, was the bugs. Here, look at a bug while we're talking about it. The thing is, I try to do I try to cover all the things I think might interest you. Now, this might be a suggestion, Joseph. Send me an email and say, just talk about bugs the whole time. And yeah, we can consider that too. I'm fine talking about, I love talking about bugs. This is what I do. But I also know that other people might want to talk about photographing flowers. One time in the next week or two, I want to show you the shoot I'm doing in that other room. It's a product shoot. But how to do good product photography without any fancy equipment, it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm recording that to show you. So yeah, there's so much to talk about. I don't want to leave any of it out, but maybe I should. Maybe you don't want to see that eye anymore. I would understand that. You definitely don't want to see this face anymore, but we're about out of time. Let me see. So what did Seabell? YouTube won't let you give money away. What is the world coming to? Who looked at the Apple stuff yesterday? Who looked at Marquise Brownlee's video about the headset? It's exciting stuff. We're living at exciting times for technology. I want to get one of those head things. I'll never come out. Who would? Oh dear. Well, it's okay. I'll give you a pin anyway, Seabell, because I wanted a pin on Trinidad. I mean, we needed a pin on Trinidad. All right, let me see. I feel like I'm probably miles behind. Yes, you're almost certainly right. Though, yeah. But Bob, I'm talking to with the he's IDing my deer fly as something else, which is probably true. Yeah, all I knew was it hurt like the dickens. But yeah, I'll look it up. I'll look up what you said, and I'm sure you're right, and I'll correct it. I'll correct what I said at the next live stream. But thank you for correcting me, because that's the only way I learn. Anyway, let me see. Where were we? Yeah, yeah. Don't get me started on that donation thing. I really appreciate the people that help, though. I really do. Yes, yeah, they do. Seabell. I mean, it's just part of the deal. They all do that. It doesn't matter who it is. But that's okay. That's okay. Oh, Phil just tossed in a 20. Excellent. So Cambria, California gets a pin. Write it down, Amy. Write it down, because we're almost out of time. Oh my goodness. What color does $10 get? Light blue. Light blue. It's right there. It's a very attractive blue, but it's not as attractive as those gold and silver pins. And look at that white one. It's leaked white all the way down onto the piece of card because I put too much paint on it. But it's lovely. Very rare. There's only one of them. Okay, we'll do this again. I'll keep shoving this in your face till I've got enough money to get the car washed, and then we'll stop doing it. But there you go. Karaoke. What's karaoke? This isn't a karaoke channel. Oh dear. Oh, well, Bug Bob, and that's a difficult name to say, Bug Bob, and Phil have become fast friends because they both like Cambria. Good for you. I like that. 50 Ron is about $10. Oh, fantastic. Well, that's fantastic. Light blue. Light blue on... light blue goes to Romania. Transylvania. No. You better tell me where, exactly where, and I'll find it. Okay, less bugs, more minerals, more product, more watches, more karaoke. I can do that. I've got a box of radioactive minerals I've been meaning to photograph and haven't had the time. Will you? If you'll watch it, we'll do it. We'll absolutely do it. But that's not an email. Doesn't matter. I'll make a note of it. Good. That's the kind of advice I want. If you want, yeah, just tell me what you want. Ah, dear. I don't know what that means, so not to worry. Costa Mesa SCC. You're talking in riddles, gentlemen. Oh, it must be geography. That's what it is. Karaoke. I can't even carry on a conversation with karaoke. I would never do that. How embarrassing would that be? Stand up and sing, pretend to sing, or do you actually sing? Shocking. No, I couldn't do that. Not in public. Not in private, come to think of it. The new Apple VR headset is tethered, not wireless. Nope. It's wireless because I saw it. And it doesn't have a wire on it. You can plug it into a battery, but yeah, it's wireless. I think it has a battery life of like 8 seconds, but it's wireless. It's impressive, according to Marquise. He's a smart guy. I hadn't watched his videos before, but a friend told me about them. He's really, really good. Yeah, I like him. So there you go. Paying $100 for it on your site right now? No way. You are? Blimey. You get the white pin. That's the maximum amount of Trinidad that you can get. Oh, that's brilliant. What an evening this has been. I'm glad I cleaned the house up. Anyway, let me see. The Apple XR headset looks like they're boldly going where everyone else has gone before. Better displays, 3 to 4 times the price, and that creepy AF display show your eyes. That is creepy. That I don't particularly like. But that thing has got more sensors and cameras in it than you can shake a stick at. I'm going to be impressed. I think I'm going to be impressed. But we'll see. It's not till January or so. All right. Let me see. Red has no. I didn't get to do amounts for the others. I ran out of time because I was plugging everything in. I'll do this. I'll get this fixed up properly, and anybody that's already donated is going to get the pin of their choice anyway. So there you go. And we're out of time. Just me, Transylvania. You got it. I'll do that. I will do that. David Brown thinks brown is best. You would, and that is appropriate, and so you should. Brown. There is no brown. It's gold. It's gold. I'll make it shinier before next time. All right, guys. I'm afraid I have trouble saying your accent with my Alabama accent. Right, exactly. It's Bug Bob's Wild World. My brain wants to say something else. I don't know what, but Bug Bob's. Yeah, it's confusing. I'll get used to it though. I've got used to much harder ones than that. I'm glad you came tonight, and definitely come back. I'm normally a little bit more disorganized than this. But anyway, at least we've got all kinds. I'll have the printer finished by the next time you come back. All right. So Joseph's used the AR, VR, XR headsets. The sensor complement is typical. The algorithms are typical. It looks like it's just got $1 billion more polish than the competition. Well, let's see. But we'll have to see. I think it's going to be different. I think it looks like a MacBook Pro that you strap on your head, to be honest. It's got that R1 chip and the M2 chip in it. Looks brilliant to me. Anyway, okay, we're done. Amy said goodnight. That means I've got to shut up and move on. So don't forget to like, if you don't mind, the stream if you're still here. And I appreciate it. And thank you for everybody who did a chat thing, and a super chat, that is. And I'll make sure your pins get put in the proper countries and everything by the next time. And I will see you on Thursday. There is no Presume this weekend. I have family thing going on. So yeah, I'll see you again on Thursday or Tuesday. And don't forget to write to me and tell me what you want to see, because I'll get working on it. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care. Stay safe.